three types of communication models. Before we discuss the three types of communication models, it is important to know what communication is. Communication is the sending or receiving of information using verbal or nonverbal cues. Nonverbal cues are anything that is a way of communicating without using words, such as a hand gesture, smiling, eye contact, or maybe even a head nod. The three types of communication models are transmission, interaction, and transaction. Transmission is when the speaker sends information through a channel and the receiver receives it. Interaction model is a two-way type of communication in which the speaker and receiver both interact interchangeably. Transaction is the communication as a process. We were given the task to develop our own type of communication model. When I sat down and reviewed the three communication models that we have, I realized that each of these use verbal cues to communicate with one another. I chose to create a model known as a cue of communication. A cue of communication is a model that is developed for individuals with a hearing impairment. For example, if a hearing impaired individual is presenting a speech to an audience, he or she may be unaware if they are listening or comprehending what they are saying. Now, a hearing impaired individual uses the word saying as their hand signals to communicate, so they use nonverbal cues. The audience needs to find a way to respond to the speaker to allow them to know that they are working and understanding what they are presenting. The audience can use nonverbal cues such as head nodding, a thumbs up, or even making direct eye contact with the speaker to let them know they are aware of the situation and what is being presented. I based this model on the interaction model because the interaction model is the two-way communication and the speaker and receiver work interchangeably. Therefore, my hearing impaired speaker is working with the audience and the audience is working with him or in return. I was able to come up with this communication model based on my background. I work with children that are hearing impaired, and a lot of times they become frustrated, not because they cannot communicate, but because they are unsure if they are being heard on the same level that somebody that can use verbal communication. It is important for models of communication to address all types of forms of communication, whether it's verbal or nonverbal. I hope my communication model is able to help individuals who are hearing impaired and that they are able to understand that they are heard exactly the same way, whether they use their nonverbal or their verbal way of communicating.